Hmm.
Morning. How are you?
Morning. How are you? I'm good.
Can't complain.
Good. 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 So, what are you up to?
Restructuring some stuff. Had to get
Oh,
rid of an employee that,
mm,
and when they did that, when we got rid of them, we figured out that they had just done things like busy work that, well, I mean, we sort of figured out they were doing that. But
mm,
what, long story short, would be is that they sabotaged some things that we have to fix. So instead of trying to go back and uncode or recode, we're just like, you know what, let's just start over, new campaigns, new things. Marketing has changed, systems have changed.
totally.
So the set it and forget it mentality of what it was is no longer, right? Like
Totally.
I believe AI has really changed the game. And it's
Yep.
amazing to think about, like, so my dog owner university, we're rebranding the Blue Line Canine online. So the
Hmm.
video, the If You Train Me video that led me into a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
That whole campaign is being redone. We were
Good.
trying to move it over to Circle, and the guy shut everything down. And when he did that, that was it. So we lost true momentum and everything behind it. So now we're rebranding it and relaunching it.
Oh
So
my.
that's what we're trying to figure out.
Oh
And then
my.
when we do that, we want everything to be consistent across the board of,
Yeah.
what we're doing and how we're doing it, if that makes
Right.
sense. So
Right. Right. Absolutely. So, is it that on the website itself? It.
we're trying to move everything over to the website instead of having it with Kajabi and then this one to that one and that
Yeah.
one is
Yeah.
but our website, we're looking to rebrand, like make all the colors work, make it a lot more friendlier, more salesy for each one
Hmm.
of our locations. Um,
Hmm.
I'd like to get rid of our personal store and just go with Shopify and have somebody build a
Okay.
Shopify that looks like our store or looks like
Hmm.
our website. So that way we can
Hmm.
put marketing money behind products.
Right.
Where my website, even though we have a store built, it's not designed, that we could say, hey, go sell my books and do all these things, where like Shopify has the shipping, has all these things. It's like, why are we
Right.
trying to recreate the wheel? But I don't have time to
Agree.
sit here and learn how to build a Shopify account or
Yeah. Well,
uh,
that is that I am not the Shopify girl. Okay. But Adam is on,
Adam
um, how do you say his last name? Adam.
Finsk or
Yeah. Yeah. He is. He's the Shopify guy. So
okay.
Yeah, because the question had come up, about Shopify for Thomas Peterson.
Okay.
And his website is a WordPress site. So with the WordPress site, um, there's WooCommerce. You can build with WooCommerce.
Yeah.
And Adam came on. I said, Adam, chime in. I said, for me, I know WooCommerce. Um, but, I said, Adam, chime in. I know you know Shopify. So yeah, he's more, I know what we do, and I know the Shopify. So if the Shopify is the direction, he's the guy. He's the guy. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, what are your expertises then? You just refer me to Adam.
I know. Well, that's for the shop part, He what he would probably do is probably the same thing as WordPress for the rest, because like if you have, how would you have your training be? In other words, would they buy it over Shopify? They wouldn't
No, no, no.
utilize
So
it.
Shopify would just be for products, like our
Okay.
t-shirts are.
Okay.
So basically, we've been building our community now. So we opened a business in 2007, and then when I started following Darren
Right.
and building a community, we've been building that. Um, that's been the focal point. Like that's what
Right.
all the me going to BMC has been learning how to put the
Hmm.
strategic place to build an exact replica of Darren, but in the dog community, right?
True.
So it's the fact of saying, all right, we got to do certain things. We experiment with certain things, and a lot of times, what I'll do is I'll come up with something that'll look like a business coaching thing and that style, just to see the trend, and then I knock it down to go into dogs, right? Because it's all
Right.
one and the same. Education is
Right.
education.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So the
Totally.
only difference between us and animals is comprehension. So I start out literally in a direct replication, and then we mold it over, right?
Right.
The if you train me is no different than if you teach me, right? If you
Correct.
give inspirational quotes and people feel good, people see that in their pets. Like
Right. Right.
it's one and the same, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're
That's why they
building
had the
that.
dog mom shirts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So
That's
we're
right.
building that kind of community point, and so what we're seeing is that people want our merchandise now, and we're getting,
Right.
and just like Darren, like people now want all of his merchandise. The
Right.
only difference, like Darren's like, I don't want to get into merchandise, but we do
No, we
because
don't.
we do because of the fact that um
This is a
having
different mindset.
um
Not every,
Darren doesn't if I was only online like Darren is, then I wouldn't want merchandise either. The headache behind it is not worth it.
right.
Due
Right.
to the fact that we have 4 brick and mortars where
Hmm.
um people want to wear the merchandise to the location. Like if Darren had a
Hmm.
brick and mortar where people were going, he would probably have merchandise.
He would.
It's like
He
it's
would.
just because you're going there, you're doing those things. And you could see even Darren's
Mhm.
even starting to come out with more merch. Just because he's not selling it directly doesn't mean he doesn't have it, right? Now we're getting
Right.
jackets, right, for the new BMC.
Yeah.
We have the
Hmm.
t-shirts for every program that we
Right.
do. The only difference is he's going and saying, I'm buying them all at once, and then that's the end of it. And whatever's left over, we give away as weird grab bags, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Where the other turn, where I'm looking at is saying, like, we want to have alumni gear. We do certain things where um our locations, they're getting
Hmm.
like harassed by their customers to have to get a t-shirt and get this and get that.
Right.
But I don't want to, but the problem is with being a dog business or a pet business, their brick and mortars get really dirty. So having shirts on display
Yeah.
doesn't make sense because they're just going to collect their dander. You know what I mean? And you're not going to
Hmm.
sit there and
And look
wash
pretty.
display. Yeah, they're not going to look good.
No.
So
No.
the online store and a print on demand scenario is like our go-to system.
Okay.
So
Okay.
corporate, my corporate location where we don't have a storefront, we're storage. We do all the supplies.
Hmm.
So um to sit there and be like, all right, well, we have the shirts, we have this, we have the product on demand. So the locations sell it and then we just mail it out. Right.
Right.
So the
Right.
Shopify is really beneficial for that because, the shipping and handling, the cost, the
True.
effectiveness, the email
You know
marketing,
where it's going to be sent out from.
yeah.
If you had all four of your stores doing it, or shops doing it, then it would be a nightmare.
Yeah. And we do have a WooCommerce currently on ours. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's nice to a degree, but it's also a little bit of a headache because there's like the putting the marketing behind it, it seems to be a pain in the ass. To
Mm,
where that's actually why we brought the other guy in that we wound up
okay.
getting rid of, because you're like, hey, we need to make sure this matches
Mm,
this matches that. Then we have, these different weird codes for discounts because it's more on our back end than it is on.
okay.
I guess
Hmm.
maybe it's even our setup. I'm not a computer person. I'm never going to
Yeah.
claim to know. Like when people say code, I'm like up, down, left, right. I don't know what you're talking about. Like I'm not that guy. If you ask me to dig a hole, I'm the guy. If
Yeah.
you ask me to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
on a stage, I'm a guy. But if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
asking
Yeah.
me to look in front of a computer, no, not
Yeah.
going to get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't
that's why I'm like,
sound like it was.
was that?
Doesn't sound like he had the wherewithal of how to do the
No, well,
SEO, because our websites that we have with WooCommerce do very well
yeah,
because
listen,
of the
we
keyword
don't blame
phrases.
WooCommerce. Does that make sense? Like coming
It's a
back and going,
tool. I always say
we, yeah.
when I'm training AI and people are like all crazy with, all the questions, I go, it's a tool.
Well, he was supposed to, let's say, make flow charts in a whiteboard for us to
Okay.
show our sales system, right?
Yeah.
And he would come to meetings and he's like, all right, what's next? What else do you have me doing? And we didn't go around. So I take full responsibility for pardon my French, but the fuckery,
Mm,
because here's your task, go do your task, right? Like here's our email campaigns for this, and this, right?
right, right,
And it was supposed to be done.
right.
And then he's like, "What's next? What do you want me to do next?" And we're like, "Okay, do this next, do this next." And he would come
Okay.
into a meeting with his reports of saying what he was doing, and you're like, "Okay, great," and you would just move on. And
But
then
there
when
was
one day,
no check and
we,
balance.
no, and it's because I'm the type of guy that says, "Listen, I'm going to pay you what you're worth,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't have to micromanage you. If I'm micromanaging you, I don't need you."
Mm, yeah.
Right? Um, so I always tell people, tell me your salary, tell me
Hmm.
what you want, I'll give it to you. But if you
Right,
screw up, that's it, you're gone. There is
right,
no,
right,
you
right.
have to have the self accountability.
Hmm.
So the how we discovered that there was a fuckery was the fact that we started this thing called the Forever Home Initiative,
Okay.
where we decided to give away the online program, the online dog training program, to dog rescues. So every time they had an adoption, to help with adoption, we gave away free dog training
Great, great, great.
and invited them into our circle group.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then we found out that nobody had a clue because there was no marketing for the online course. And we're like, where'd all the marketing go? Well, he had shut it all down, shut Kajabi down, shut everything down. So the only thing you could do is buy it.
Oh,
So when you went to the link, it would just
what?
go to the credit card processing thing. So we wound up giving away login information to people, right? That even though we were giving it away it wasn't about like the money, but we were giving it
Right.
away and we were confused by it because we're like, why are people not understanding what's going on? Right? Like
Oh,
the website should be there telling you about what the 5 modules are and
yeah.
what you
Yeah.
do and how you do it. We made all these marketing videos for it, email campaigns for it. And so then I started going back trying to use every link that I had, and none of them were in existence. And excuse me, he went with mommy. Work. Easter break.
Ah, yes. Easter break.
Um,
Ironically, I had a group yesterday and how all these people, we get together for networking lunch. And I thought for sure I'd only have like, we usually have about 20 people. And I thought for sure I'd only have 10. So I told the hotel, the restaurant, that I only have 10 people, 17 show up. I'm like,
wow.
okay, I just screwed up.
Eh,
They didn't care.
yeah. They're like, we can get more chicken nuggets.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we found out everything disappeared on us, and then we're like, great, now we got to fix it. And so the
And
first
then
thing was to get
you
rid of him.
started digging and found out there was more.
Yeah, the funny part about it is once we found the one thing, it really wasn't digging; it was all right in front of us.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
once you started looking, we
It's
just
easy.
noticed that nothing was done. Everything was either. So he would come into our into our staff meetings and give us all these great reports, and we're like, all right, great. Things are going good. Things are going good. Things are going good. And then once we opened up his So we use Monday for our project management. So once we went into his Monday, yeah, that's when we discovered everything was wrong. And we're like,
Oh,
okay, where are the
wow.
flow charts? Where is this? Where is these things? Where is all this stuff? And it's like, you know what? We're not going to ask him. We're just going to get rid of him at this point in time because
Yeah.
everything was supposed to be there. So the year of 2024 for us was to sit down and make manuals and instructions on how everything is supposed to
Yeah.
work within the company,
Hmm.
because running multiple locations is a real pain in the ass. So
I
when
believe
you
that.
have all the difficulties coming in, and you're like, all right, the whole purpose of the flow chart was so I can make a video explaining step by step by step by step. Well, if you don't
Right.
have the flow chart made, then I can't do the step by step because, and the idea of doing the video is to set up all the cameras and get all this
Hmm.
thing one time to do 20, 30 of the videos, not
Right.
a video here, a video there. Um,
Right.
but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't change what happened. I can't change any of those things. So we got
Right.
rid of them, and now it's just the point of figuring it out. So I was like, well, I need to get somebody in marketing to come in and
Hmm.
restructure these things. So I reached out to you, Adam, Kerry, everybody I know that's in marketing in the Darren
Right.
Hardy
Right.
group.
Right. Right.
We all have the mindset. Now it's time
Yeah.
to reach out to the network and see
Hmm.
where's my first step here.
Right.
So
Right.
that's where we are. This is my first step.
So, so your site is a WordPress site. So it's a
My
matter,
actual website is a WordPress. Yeah.
okay. So
Yep.
it's a matter of taking the site itself and, in a sense, replicating and removing WooCommerce from your site and having the Shopify.
Possibly. Again, I'm
Yeah.
open to
Yeah.
everything. It's not like
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah. Okay.
so before, I guess here's the biggest thing. So before everything was different. So Dog Earning
Hmm.
University was on Kajabi and it had its
Right.
own, so that was its own website, its own everything.
Right. Right.
This year we're bringing everything under the one umbrella
Okay.
and
Yes.
focusing in. So when we started the Forever Home initiative, we're like, well, if we're going to give away the online course, we want to keep people on our website. So
Correct.
we want the login. We want this to be almost like the book, right? This feeds into the
Right.
bigger programs. So
Right. Right.
if we can use these things that I'm doing to make more money at our locations, then that's the best way to do it for us.
Hmm.
To give away $100 online course to make a $3,000 dog training program sale is, well,
Hmm.
it's a great
Yeah.
turnover.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
The other
with,
thing,
okay,
yeah, no,
my
good.
my my pushback I always do with Shopify. If Shopify is to, like, when you move them to Shopify, you're moving them to Shopify. And I try to keep everything under one umbrella as long as what is under that umbrella doesn't conflict with each other. So what I mean by that is, if you were doing everything dog, 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 now in WooCommerce, you're talking about cats, everything for cats. I'm going to say to you, take it over on Shopify, because you're conflicting the search engines there,
Okay.
So if the language of what you're selling is keyword rich in the WooCommerce shop, it needs, to me, it would be common sense to keep it on WooCommerce, because I'm going to assume that you have your shipping um, scenario, and you can show me if you want, shipping scenario on WooCommerce uh, solved. In other words, are you sending everything out through the US mail, UPS, FedEx, all of the above, DHL, all of the above? If
UPS and UPS, USPS.
yes.
And then
So,
we charge a flat rate shipping of $8.
okay. Okay. All right. So that you've kept it simple. Over on Shopify, it'll get, because they have the system in place for the shipping and whatnot, that may change. You could say to them, we have the flat rate shipping of $10, and Shopify is going to make you $4 because it was only 6, or something like that. That's the difference. I mean, UPS, their API, the little key they give to bring it over, it's a matter of needing to know width, height, weight of boxes, and then address, and it'll provide you with the information. But all that's very, very important
Yeah. So
over
we
on
just did we
WooCommerce.
did the flat rate thing of $8 because
Hmm.
we're like, I don't really want to deal with sitting here one day and weighing out every product we
Yes,
have.
yes. Yeah.
So it can mathematically
Mhm.
do these things. We're like, hey, sometimes we're going to lose money, sometimes we're going to make money, but
Right, right.
for the average box that or the average
Mhm.
package that we're sending out, you
Yeah,
know,
you
it
know what
costs
it
X
is.
amount of yeah, it's costing
Mhm.
me $6, $7. Like it is what it is. Somebody
Yeah,
buys a bunch of clothing or whatever it is, I might lose a couple of dollars in
yeah,
shipping, but
yeah.
I believe in the Jeff Bezos approach. It once people are
Mhm.
used to buying your stuff, they're gonna keep
They'll
buying
be
your
back.
stuff.
They'll come
Yeah,
back.
and
Yeah.
you'll make it back
Hmm.
later.
Hmm.
When it comes down to like our leashes and stuff, like the things that we do sell a lot of that no, you
Right,
can't buy anywhere else,
right.
we do make the money because we're able to smaller like make the packages smaller.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, we have ways, I
Yeah,
guess, is the way.
yeah, yeah. And there's many ways in which to make WooCommerce look totally different. Like we have some of our websites, you wouldn't even think it's WooCommerce because of how
Yeah,
it's created,
yeah.
you know. And those are our nonprofits that don't want to look like the boxy WooCommerce scenario. Um, Now you mentioned about the training. Is the training something where they buy it from you once or they receive it from you once and that's it, or they come back over and over and over and over again for the next step in the process?
Well, technically training, once you have it, you're right. Now it's maintenance, right? If you think about like,
Right, right, right.
it's like anything else. Like we keep going
Mhm.
back to BMC. Why? We already know it all, but it's about a refreshing. It's about these
Oh, yeah.
things. Right. So
Hmm.
when it comes to dog training, most people aren't getting a continuation, right? So we created a thing called the Blue Line Canine Club,
Right.
where people still drop their dog off so we can keep up with them. It's our style of doggy daycare.
Hmm.
And again, this is why our merchandising is starting to go up because people are proud to be a part of these things, right? Like,
Right, right.
like Darren was talking about with the cult like following. We are creating that. We have a huge cult like
Yeah.
following right now, and
Hmm.
people are up our butt to brag about it and show it off, and we just don't
Hmm.
have the means of getting it to them.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so sorry,
Are you okay there?
I got to get rid of a screen now. My I enjoy certain things about Apple, like how everything syncs, but then also like text messaging because now I'm on the phone with you. Like my
Yeah.
computer receives that I'm up, so now it pops up the text message. I'm like, yeah, so it distracted me for a thing, but uh,
Squirrel.
yeah, yeah, no, because I am. That's what I was like. I like that. That's why it's like so I don't have to look off away from the phone when
Yeah.
I'm personally doing
I
things on
have
the
the same
computer.
thing.
But oh, okay, yeah. So you experience it, right? Where you're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Shit. Now what I was saying. All right.
It
So the I yeah the
told
I
me about, I have like 5 notifications. Michael, Michael,
yeah
Michael,
yeah.
Michael.
So like the intent with the training is that yes, we do have some level of repeat, but
Okay,
our repeat is not off of a new program. So the only way in is you have to buy our big ticket item. So
okay,
to weird way of saying this, like something that would probably be like I maybe I should tell Julie about this, but we reverse the entire sales process,
okay. Yes.
right?
Okay.
So when
So
you
you give
look at
free first?
so no, you get free last.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So
okay.
so
Okay.
if
Go
you think
ahead.
about it, the sales process is what? You typically you have a click funnel, right? Like
Right.
give me your email and I'll give you this. If you do
Hmm.
this, I'll give you that, right? And then you have the upsell, right? Where
Right.
everyone's like, well, the a la carte type of mentality,
Hmm.
where you can get
Hmm.
this, or you can get this, you can get
Yep.
this.
Yep. Yep.
So with us, I took the approach of Apple, right?
Okay.
And said when I was younger and I walked into an Apple store, they said that the computer is $2,000 and that's it. If you don't want it, get out.
True.
Like that was it.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
no sales process. There was no nothing. So if you want to be a part of our club and our cult and
Hmm.
be a part of this community, this is what it was. They had no payment plans, no nothing. You were had to buy it in totality right then and there.
Right.
You know. And when I decided to do this company, that was one of the biggest things. Was listen, you might lose 8 out of 10 sales, but the two you made you the money that the eight would have cost you because in order
True.
to get the 8, you were giving it away and they were a pain in your ass. Where the 2 that gave you the money were so appreciative that they had your time and you could deliver A+ service, which now means you can flood them with gifts and they're going to go brag. So I don't market necessarily to outside people. I market to my inside people, and they're the ones that go and market my outside people. So like we do the ornament every year.
You're a farmer.
Yeah. So like this is
Yes.
our last year ornament.
Yeah.
And we have
Mhm.
every year we have a new one that comes out to, and it only goes to, again, your internal people that have sold your clients. And we have
Right.
it. So we look at it going like, look, if you want to be a part of our company, you have to spend at least $2,000 to start.
Right.
Once you spent the $2,000, which is our program, right, our training program,
Mhm.
now suddenly you can board your dog with us. So you're not allowed to board your dog with us until they've graduated the program. You cannot
Okay.
come to the Canine Country Club or our club without being a graduate of our program. You cannot go to our online access. You cannot have any of our merchandise. You cannot have anything until you are technically alumni.
I love this.
So you can't buy the
Yes.
cheap shit, right? The dollar menu, as
Mhm.
weird as it sounds, but you can't buy the dollar menu until you've bought,
Until.
until you've spent the thousands of dollars, which is what we found is like this. It might be a little bit more difficult to get the $2,000 sale in the beginning, but the things that literally just keep you consistently alive and the referral
Mhm.
marketing, everything like that, they're buying it.
Right.
They're buying
Right.
all of it because they're like, well, it's not
Because they've
$2,000
said, hey,
anymore.
I spent 2,000, so I'm going to spend
Yeah,
another couple
exactly.
bucks.
So even like with us, like so in the dog training marketplace, they have a thing called the free evaluation, which is the market, which is the opportunity for a sale. They do
Okay.
a free evaluation where the dog trainer comes to your house for free
Mhm.
to evaluate your dog, where they never evaluate your dog. They don't even do that. What they do is they get to your house, right? I call it the free water test, and then they sell you by showing you their dog or talking about their program, and then they wait until you buy their program, right? But it
Right.
takes so much time. If you want us to go to your house for an evaluation, we charge you $250. And everybody makes the
Yeah.
argument to us saying, well, the other companies are going to do it for free. And we're like, you're damn right they are. But they're going
Mhm.
to be there to sell you their program.
Right.
Well, you've already paid us, so we're there to actually help you with your dog.
Right.
There's the difference, right?
Right.
So do you want a person to come out and make a sale, or do you want somebody to come out and help you with your dog? That's your decision, but and you decide that with your credit card right now.
Right. Right.
And everyone's like, what the fuck? Like they're like,
Yeah.
you get,
Yeah.
but it's what it
Yeah.
is, right? So we literally reverse the sales process of dog training.
Mhm.
And I would
Mhm.
tell you that's why we've grown the way we've grown.
Yeah.
Is
Good.
you know,
Yeah.
but
The
it's very
quality.
yeah, it's all
It's
we focus on.
quality. Yeah. And the
So
dog
it's a different
agrees.
thing. Oh yeah. Because again, now the dog's not a byproduct of the sale, right? Like,
Mhm.
you know, when you think about it, you've already paid for the A+ service, and now it's just the point of getting it.
Right. Right.
Where when it's the other way around, by the time you paid for the A+ service,
Mhm.
the dog trainer or salesperson, right, is now burnt out from you
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
they put all their energy trying to get the paycheck.
Right.
So by the time you actually do pay them, they actually don't care about your dog. Your dog is an inconvenience because they got to work on the next dog now. They got to work on the next.
Mm. Yeah.
Where but
Yeah.
us, you paid us in the beginning. Guess what? We're not worried about anymore.
Right. You're there to work with
Give you
them.
the yeah
Yep.
because you already paid us. So
Right.
now our training staff isn't worried about, am I going to have a paycheck? Am I going to? No, you've already been paid. Now just focus on the dog.
Right.
So we
Very
eliminate
cool.
those things. And one of my
Mm.
goals for this year is to eventually get it to where there's no salesperson.
Okay.
So we
Where
do want to.
where
So
you have a referral program?
we yeah, we want to take the referral program we have and grow it, but that's one. But the other thing is that we would like to see if we are able to take. So what I'm hoping for is to take
Well,
the
what
online
does your
program.
sales person do?
They make the phone calls and they tell you about the program, collect the money, and then schedule with a trainer. So
Okay.
the evaluations are with trainers, the training is with trainers, but typically we try to eliminate trainers from being on the phone.
Okay. So all
So
they're doing
we
is working with
with
the
the
owner and
dogs.
the dog.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the owners. And the thing is that's really
That's your
nice about it
quality.
is yeah, because you call up a dog trainer right now, a dog training company right now, you're going to be talking to the dog trainer. So you're going to
Hmm.
ask them for free information. You're going to ask and you're going to waste their time, and we can't do that. We got to
Right.
provide quality service. And if we're providing quality service, we can't be on the phone with you.
Right.
Now, the other thing is
Okay.
that now our sales team, because it's sales, so you get new people constantly. There's a lack of consistency, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, if I can get the online program back to making its money, right, through a
Right.
ClickFunnels or whatever it is, then I don't see why I couldn't do that with a couple of our programs to see if people can just register on their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if they can register on their own without the person being on the phone, again, that alleviates it and allows us to have even better customer service, because now instead of a person being a salesperson, they could be more of a customer service person, right?
Right.
Lack of better words, but
Well,
we want
do you have a
everybody to be
chatbot?
focusing.
Do you have a chatbot on your
We
website?
don't, because of the 4 locations. So we have one website that does
Mm-hmm.
4 locations.
Okay.
So not having we can't have a chatbot because
So I'm going to push
prices
back on
vary.
the 4 locations.
Shoot, yeah, I'm up for ideas. Like,
Okay.
we're not against it.
Okay.
It's just we didn't figure out a way.
Well, with your WooCommerce, not WooCommerce, with your WordPress site and the hosting, where are you hosting?
We have a web company up north that's hosting it, but
Oh, okay. Okay.
we can move it. It's not a big deal.
All right. Well, you wouldn't even need to move it. They should actually have their own subdomain. And the reason for it is, with them being under the whole umbrella, you're not giving them the opportunity under that to have the location be pushed. So you should have, they should be under Blue Line K9,
Yeah.
be under that, but it would be where is one in Texas?
We have one in
Yeah.
Texas,
So it could
Jersey,
say
Maryland.
Texas dot Blue Line K9, and
Yeah, they have their own location page.
okay, but that location page should be a landing page on a subdomain. So
Yeah, that's
that,
what we want to fix.
yeah.
Yeah, so right
So
now
that
our website
yeah. Mhm.
doesn't do exactly what you're saying.
Right.
So
And
we're game.
it's kind of like they would have their homepage. And when I would get there from Texas, I would see pictures that are familiar to me. Here's the Texas location, and it's on there. And, you'd have a domain name that's specifically for that. I liken it to
So that's
4.
where I think I
Okay.
have a question.
Okay.
Everything that you're saying, I love. That's something we've
Mhm.
always wanted to do. The problem is we don't want their URL to be different, because when we come to like print marketing, vehicle wrapping, we don't want any other URL than the blueline-k-9.com.
Okay. Okay.
So that's
All
the
right.
only thing. So even like our phone number. So
Mhm.
in all of our marketing, like our print marketing is all 1-800-266-2365.
Right.
The
Right.
website, blueline-k-9.com. And the reason why for our business in particular, print marketing sucks. And
Oh,
then what
yeah.
happens is, yeah, so because everybody, dog training is dog training. So we don't want
Mhm.
to go broke trying to customize phone numbers and websites and all these other things where,
Yeah. Right.
like myself, like I have wrapped vehicles and I drive because I hate flying. So Texas is
Mhm.
the only place I fly to because I can't drive there. It's too long of a
You
drive.
can,
But
but
yeah, it's just too much driving. But so like my wrapped vehicle that I drive around in, I'm going to different places that's drawing in business for their locations as I'm
okay.
spending time there. So because of that, if I was driving or if we got these guys together, now the marketing becomes questionable, because you'll
Right.
see different phone numbers, you'll see different things. And then what we're trying to grow to, what our hope is to create the sales team as corporate. So right now, each
Right.
location has their own sales team. We want to bring that in centralized in corporate.
Okay.
So then that way the locations, once again, focus on their customers, and we provide the administration and saying, hey, we have a salesperson, we have the customer service person for you, that's taken care of. Now suddenly, so when somebody calls in and they're like, hi, yes, I'm located here, great, and they could just talk all
Mhm.
about Texas and do all that kind of stuff. We don't want a separate URL. Now on Facebook ads and stuff like that, we have no problem obviously sending it directly to that location's
Right. Right. You need that.
starting point. But from if
Mhm.
somebody was like on a business card or a vehicle, we only want blueline-k-9.com. That's
Okay.
the only.
Okay.
So just
All
when
right.
it comes to print, that's the only focus. Market ads, whatever it is,
Mhm.
yes, they
mhm,
can go
right,
obviously because
right,
people aren't paying attention at that point in time. They're
right,
just clicking the ad and
right.
100% agree with you. It's just that if they're
Mhm,
typing it in, we
yeah.
don't want to
Well, one of the things that would need to, like, if you look at our sites that we build, we have a footer paragraph that we call um, a paragraph not for human consumption. Basically, what it
okay.
basically what it is it's like I'm sure you've heard of, you know, where you are uh, just putting too many keywords in something. That's what it is. What we do is we create this paragraph that is so uh, sort of bastardized with keywords, including in this case, if you don't want that to be off of your site, um, what it would be is those keywords you would have to include Maryland, New Jersey, North Carolina, Texas. You would
Yeah.
have to include that in that paragraph so that every single page that comes up. Because the thing is, you're going to have a landing page that only talks about Maryland, a landing page that only talks about New Jersey, and so on, and it's nowhere else.
Yeah.
So it needs to be something that is either part of photos and the alt text that's there, you know, as far as images are concerned in the description, or be at that bottom so that it's supported. And
Okay.
basically that paragraph, what it is Google will not index a word. Like, I hate when somebody says, you know, um, now, for instance, for you, dog training, okay? And they say, I'm not coming up for dog training, but it's not anywhere on their website, on your
Yeah.
website, dog training. And they think it's going to automatically, instantly, Google knows to bring up their
Yeah.
website, your website for that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very important that the main keywords, the rich keywords, the ones you know that people are using for it are are part of that paragraph. And the locations would be part of that. I get what
Okay.
you're saying. And one of
Yeah.
the
No,
things,
no. It sounds like we're on track. Again,
yeah,
there's a
yeah,
level of like I said, I don't mean to be a dick about it. It's just one of
yeah.
those ones where when I originally was in real estate, you want everything about yourself and away
Oh,
from
yeah.
the brand,
Mhm.
because you might be a part of Remax, but you're not. It's
Yeah,
you are
yeah,
you
yeah.
are the actual company, and Remax is secondary.
Mhm.
In this case, the Blue Line Canine brand is primary and has to always be primary because
Right.
like last year I had to fire two of the location owners for being scumbags.
Mhm. Yeah,
So I now own
yeah,
those two locations personally because when I got rid of them, I owned them and then replaced them with people. And
right.
um, if we made it about them, then that would have made a lot. We would
Really
have had to yeah. So it's like, well, hey,
screw
you're
it up.
gone
Yeah,
next.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Mhm.
next. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah,
it's very easy peasy.
yeah. Well, we have
Stuff to do.
we work with paintless dent repair
Hmm.
companies. Okay. And we have this one gentleman who's down in South Carolina, and he has his main website, and then he has landing pages for all of the cities around where he is located. And basically the what we do on those landing pages is we talk all about location, location, location. And everything in his menu, except for the homepage, which is that location, everything else points back to his Piedmont um, pet auto repair, auto care.
That's
Um,
exactly
yeah,
what I think I'm trying to get to.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
so Cape May would have all of their landing pages and
yeah. All the
you'd have
looks
one
and
for the
feels and
location and one
yeah,
for the programs and one for this and one for
yeah,
that. So when you're
yeah,
clicking on it, you're going
yeah.
to
Cape
yeah,
May would show the beach with the
yeah.
dog on the beach, off leash, running alongside, those types of things would not work for you. Or, yeah,
Right. No,
yeah,
that's
or North Carolina,
yeah, and
uh,
that's the key, right? Yeah.
Texas.
Because
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to cross. And it's funny that you know Cape May. I sometimes forget you
Well,
actually know her.
Cape May, because of the Mid-Atlantic Community Papers Association, the states surrounding Pennsylvania, I am, I can tell you all about Cleveland, Ohio. I can tell you all about Port Clinton, Ohio,
Yeah,
because of the fact that I have publishers there and I see their papers all the time.
yeah. Well, it's just it's funny because normally like I say things like New Jersey, everybody thinks Sopranos. They think
Mhm.
they don't realize it's a beach
It's a
town. Uh,
beautiful,
yeah,
yeah,
beautiful
Cape
little
May
beach
is
area.
gorgeous. Hmm.
Our location here
And
in
money
Joppa.
here.
Well, yeah, 50% of the year, 50% of the year.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. I
yeah.
didn't think about that.
That's why we're trying to actually go to Florida now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get ready to open a location in Florida this year. That's my goal
You can drive to
because
Florida.
I know that's what I
Yeah.
like is that I drive there. But we've been talking about it because a lot of his customers are snowbirds. So they
Right.
come up in the summer. He does all the programs, and it's like
Mhm.
if we had another brick and mortar down in Florida, we can keep them consistent with us.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Um,
Where do
so
they,
we're
where do they
well,
hang
that's
out?
what we're doing. We're doing a
Naples?
survey right now. We
Yeah.
don't know. We don't
Yeah.
like everyone just says Florida, and again, you can people when they say Florida, they can name small towns and small places, and if you don't know, you don't know. It's a huge
Right.
state.
It is.
It's like when people talk about, oh, I'm from Texas. You're like, okay, well, that doesn't
Mhm.
really say anything because
Yeah.
even the culture of Texas is completely different,
No, I would think so. Oh gosh.
where you are. So like Houston is a very diverse city because
Hmm.
it's actually made up of outsiders. So
Right.
pretty much everybody in Houston is not from Texas.
Wow.
They're
Yeah.
all from everywhere else because Houston is you got NASA, you have all
Oh,
like science, you have corporations, you have oil and gas, you
yeah.
have electricity. You have
True.
companies, that's their home base for a
Hmm.
majority of United States companies. So when people get these careers and they get promoted, they're moved to Texas.
Oh wow.
But they're
Yeah.
not they're
True.
moved to the Houston Katy area, like the Houston area. And
Hmm.
then based on what side of the city you are is what your career is. So like Katy is on the gas and oil side.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
Katy is a suburb outside of Houston, but everybody there is in energy. So they gas, electric,
Hmm.
and all this other stuff.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, I could bring you to Sugarland, which is all NASA people. So
Okay.
scientists and and again,
Okay.
you're like, well, these are suburbs. Yeah, they're suburbs, but if you look at a pizza slice, right? So they're
Yeah.
coming in and they're all coming into Houston. And then when they go home,
Hmm.
they all go out and they spread out that way. And then everything inside that pizza slice is going to do with their career path. So
Wow.
each one of the highways in Houston that I've learned is like they call one the oil highway. It's I-10 because that's where
Hmm.
all the energy companies, so all the oil companies, all their corporation offices is on I-10.
Oh
Meanwhile,
wow.
NASA is on the other side of the city. So as much as I'm in the city and going back and forth while I'm down there, I don't come across anybody to do at NASA because they're on the other side of the city. So you never even bump into them. But you'll come across the
Wow.
roughnecks and all the oil refinery guys and all this other kind of stuff that are,
Hmm. Hmm.
in that pizza slice. And
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing. But I was spent the weekend there in Katy and I didn't meet one person from Texas. They're all from outer places and moved to, and now they live in Texas, but they were all from
Yeah.
originally
From
other
somewhere
places,
else.
somewhere else.
Hmm. Wow.
Go to Austin and everyone's from Silicon Valley.
Hmm. Oh
So
yeah. Yep. Makes sense.
they're that. Then you get to Dallas and it's completely different again because Dallas gets snow. Dallas has seasons, so like Houston,
Hmm.
Texas, like desert and flat and there's nothing there.
Right.
So again, where you go. So Florida, we're looking at Davenport to start. So we're going
Davenport.
to put or
Hmm.
we're looking at putting a mobile location in Davenport,
Hmm.
which is Central Florida. It's about 20 minutes south of Disney.
Right.
And then that way we
Hmm.
can figure out where we really need to be. Um, because there's you can be anywhere. I know we're
Hmm.
not in Miami. I know none of our customers are in Miami.
Right.
So it's
Oh,
like we
I
don't need
wouldn't
to go
think so.
that south. But Naples is popular. Flintville is very
Yeah.
popular that we have found. The Tampa area, so Lakeland area
Hmm.
is very
Oh yeah.
popular.
Yes.
Um, but
But you're
so
gonna have to
we need
find out from your
from the customers to really know
Cape
like, hey,
May
if we put it,
clients. Where are you?
yeah,
Where are you when you're,
yeah, where
you know,
are you when you go down there? Because
right.
if technically like so like Russ, my owner in Cape May, He
Hmm.
wants to go to Florida, like retire. He wants to
Right.
retire in Florida, but he's a beach guy, so he's not
He's,
going to go Central Florida. He's a
no,
boater beach guy. Like he's like, if I'm moving out of
were
New
you on his
Jersey,
boat when you were there?
what's that?
Were you on his boat when you were there?
No, no, I never go
Okay.
on a boat. I'm
Okay.
not a boating guy. So
Yeah.
so it's one of those things where, like, for him, he loves boats. He loves being
Hmm.
on the ocean. He loves that's his thing. Hence, he grew up in Cape May. He's from Cape
Well,
May. Makes
yeah,
sense.
totally makes sense.
So for him to go to Florida, that just gives him 12 months of boating versus 4 months of
Right.
boating in New Jersey.
Right. Right.
So that means he's not going to be in Central Florida. He's going to be on one of the coasts.
Well, make him do his homework when he's down
Yeah,
there.
no, he's on it. He's already doing the
Well, that's
surveys
good.
and figuring
That's
it
good.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what
Oh,
we're
that's good.
seeing right now. A lot of people in Lakeland,
Yeah.
Kissimmee. So they're in this
Hmm.
area called the Four Corners. I don't know how familiar you are
Oh,
with Florida or not.
I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
neither are we.
I
So,
have I have a client that is in St. Augustine,
okay.
and it's Jacksonville. It's up
Yep.
in the
Yep.
northern area. And ironically, like I was talking to sort of what would it be their great um referral, great refer,
Yeah.
I was doing that with this woman who said, well, how did I find out about you? And I said, this way and then this.
Yeah.
Why am I calling Pennsylvania? Because that's where I'm located. So yeah, it was interesting. And so if I go anywhere is in Florida, I have to stop at St. Augustine and see all these clients that I
Oh,
have. And
you'll love it
yeah.
there.
Oh
Are you into
yeah.
history at all?
No, no, not really.
No.
Well, yeah.
St.
No.
Augustine has
There's
really
only
nice
so much that
trails.
can go in this brain.
Yeah. So I like history of things, and St.
Yeah.
Augustine has a lot of great
Oh, I'll have to check
like
that out.
public park areas that talk about the
Yeah.
history of of St. Augustine
Oh,
himself
okay.
and things like that. So
Hmm.
it's again, it matters what you're into. I'm really into theme parks. I'm a big kid, in case you
Yeah.
can't tell by the championship belt over there or anything else you've ever seen about me. So for me
Hmm.
to travel back and forth to
Hmm.
Florida and Maryland with my family, yeah, I'm going to be in the theme park area. I want to be
Yeah.
near
Yeah.
Universal. I want to be through Disney.
Hmm. I'm
Yeah,
with
you
you
put me in
there.
Disney World, you watch what happens. I'll be
Yeah.
the
You can
number
be
one
in Disney
spokesperson.
World. I'll go up over to Epcot Center. That's where I
Yeah,
hang out.
yeah. Epcot's beautiful. It's nice.
I know. I loved it there. Oh gosh, been a
Good
while.
people down there. All
So
right, so I gotta get going. But where do we go
yeah.
from here? I guess is it should I think about this and reach back out to you? Do you come up with an offer? Like, how does that work? It's
Well,
been
normally
years
what
since
I
I've actually worked
do,
with a marketing company. So
okay. Normally what I do is I take our discussion and I put it together in a strategic plan proposal. Now, it sounds as though there's disconnects of your marketing as well. All right.
yeah,
So I'm going to include that as well. What would
okay,
that would look like? What it could look like for each one of the locations as well.
okay,
Making,
yeah,
for Maryland, for New Jersey,
yeah.
what those would look like. And then I'm one of these that I, when we're working like with the website, obviously it's done a certain way. But with marketing, I do absolutely no contracts. And the reason I don't is things change for my clients.
Mhm.
And if I buttonhole a person to a contract that says for this year, this is what your budget's going to be, blah, blah, blah. No. And that's partially, I do that so that there's the flexibility to make changes and to tweak and to, especially in the beginning, because like if do you do Google ads? Do you do?
We do our own Facebook ads,
Okay.
and we're pretty good at those.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
And that's about
we
how you're going to get traffic is
Yeah,
Facebook
we
ads
we
at this
wanted to
point.
get into Google. We hired a company to do
Hmm.
Google ads that worked
Hmm.
for a percentage of our ad spend, which was great. And
Right.
then it went to absolute dog shit. We were like, all
Yeah.
right, we're not getting any pay per clicks with the stagnant ads that show up on different websites. We
Right.
weren't.
Right.
We wanted to get, like, right now. I'm going to start where I'm working on my to do list for the next 60 days is to refocus YouTube, like get a
Right.
YouTube
Right.
channel, market it up, brand
Okay.
it all up. and create a centralized YouTube channel for the entire company.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So that's good
and
to
then
know.
and we want to do YouTube ads. Like we want to be everywhere and anywhere when it comes to marketing ads, but we found that Google, you know, like, hey, you could just pay Google and Google does 90% of their stuff.
Right.
Personally, I want a representative that understands how to use Google, because Google does YouTube, Google does Google, right? Google's everywhere
Right.
outside of just
Mhm.
Google. And
Right.
I'm like, we need to be on all these different platforms with different ads, with different funnels, bringing people where we
Right.
want them to be.
Right.
And if you throw an ad on Google, this is, like I said, what we've just learned is that you throw an ad on Google, but you don't have a click funnel for it, it ain't going to work. It
Correct.
has to go to the
It
landing.
needs
It
to
has to go to the
go.
landing page, has to
Oh,
go.
definitely.
Where our system works great for Facebook, but not great for Google or YouTube. Like if you click on a video, it can't just be like fill out this form. It has to give them the next step of information, and we don't have that yet.
Right.
So before we get it back into it, hiring somebody to do those things, we wanted to have the, let's say, the funnel
Yeah.
in place, the system in place to say, hey, yes,
Right.
now we want to be on Google ads. YouTube, I mean, Facebook, we are okay at managing and doing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we're not
Okay.
opposed to bringing somebody in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we have been in, we've been doing it a lot on our own for years.
Right.
Um, but I have to sort of take it off my plate temporarily to allow me to organize things because of when we let this guy go, now I got to go back and figure out what he didn't do, what he did do, and what he possibly rearranged. So I'm
Right.
trying to unscrew all these things up. And that's
Are
why I
you?
stepped back from
Yeah.
a lot of responsibilities. Like I'm not a captain this year. I'm not doing like, you're probably not
Mm-hmm.
even noticing I'm not on social media a lot because yeah, I'm like, I'm just
Yeah.
sitting here trying to figure things out and
Yeah.
go, you know, and I was doing a lot of the marketing, and now I'm like, all right, I really got to step up my game when it comes to videos. It's the way we changed,
Well,
and I
it's
can't
what
expect it.
has changed too.
Yeah,
You
that's what I meant.
talked
Like
about
the world changed.
AI.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's the shorts.
yeah.
You
They
know,
they're
it's the
making a huge impact.
how-tos. It's the how-tos. It's the listicles. It's all of that.
Yeah,
That is part of it. Are you on X? Twitter.
I technically have an account, but no, I don't use it.
Okay. Because some things have really changed with X that
Oh, I'm sure
are
of it. Yeah, I'm sure of
beneficial
it.
from a
Yeah,
standpoint of, in a sense, testing. Like X should be where you test, and then you take the successful stuff to take Facebook once
yeah.
it's been
We just
tested
don't
on
know
things.
it. I have
Mhm.
a big thing is you don't touch something until you know it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you go there and you start messing with things, you're going to create a memory or create an algorithm that could hurt you if you don't know what you're
right,
doing.
right.
You know, don't just randomly start putting things out there.
Well, ironically, and I learn a lot from Neil Patel. That's the guy who's my guru. And ironically, because of what has changed with it, he says if he puts four things up there, and of the four things, three are crap, those three don't affect him. It's but he takes that one that's successful and he just broadcasts it to everywhere else. So yeah, some good stuff. So
Okay, great.
I'll put together a strategic plan proposal
Yeah,
scenario for you, and then
awesome.
with Google Ads, we're totally different. We don't do the percentage. We do, this is us managing it,
Yeah, and that's
maintaining,
fine. Yeah,
providing,
yeah,
and
it's
the rest of your money is used for what it should be used for.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. No,
So,
that works.
okay.
So
All right. All right. So I will get that to you so you can go on to your next to do. All right.
that's it. All right, I
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. Take care.
All right,
Bye
bye.
bye. Well, sorry about that. Let me make sure I'm not on to the next thing because I know that was not a half an hour. Okay, I'm good until noon. I'm good until noon. So, oops. Oh, all right. Okay. How are you doing out there? Or what do you need? You need our help with anything?
I just wonder what your what your plans are. I have no idea. It's a-
We
You
can,
you
I
all-
can't help today. Because if you look at my calendar, it's one Zoom, a break, another Zoom, a break, another Zoom, a break, another Zoom, done for the day. So I'm just
Then
saying,
why did you tell me that you guys could help me?
bring this stuff up. We can help you bring this stuff up, but
Or I would be at it.
we'll go at it.
I really still can't take much time over. it, 'cause I
Well-
don't know what the hell I'm doing.
You're not wasting time because you're painting.
Oh, yeah.
You're painting.
I'm
That's
painting.
all you like to do.
I'm painting, all right.
Yeah, you're painting. all right. That pays the paint. Right?
Well, then I'll just go back to work, so don't
Well,
bother,
if you
don't,
want to bring boxes up,
don't bother me.
if it is that you need help to
And
bring,
get boxes up.
huh?
I'm gonna get boxes up in the road for boxes.
Well, you talked about taking them out of the box and bringing the pieces up. Want us to help you with bringing the pieces up? Okay. All right. So let's see. You have a little bit of time? Well, we'll go down to, first of all, if you haven't taken anything apart, we'll, I can call you, okay? You want to be told, send up. It's, wait until I come out, and then we'll go down.
Kind of here.
Yes, I don't. I don't have this.
Okay. Yes, I know.